And so what we see many times when we show up with 3P Coaching and Solution, our consulting company, is if there's a interpersonal problem, we see one person really acting out. They're whatever, proverbially like kicking and screaming, and everyone's judging them and saying they're bad, they're wrong, they're all the problem is because of this one individual. Like they're the reason the company is really messed up. And we show up and we start to look at it systemically. And we start to realize that maybe that's not actually the truth. Maybe that person is acting out as a warning sign or as an indicator that something isn't necessarily working within a system. Mazen, if I think about, we have a lot of clients where that's been the case. And what I've always appreciated is that it's easy for many of us, probably myself included, to get caught up maybe in the drama of it's that person, they're bad. And you've always hung back and said, wait a moment, we need to see the whole picture. Maybe this individual that's crying out is not the villain, but a warning sign. Can you tell
Mhm.
me a little bit about what you've noticed in a lot of the consulting work you've done when it comes to those situations?
If I want to answer first in really one sentence, when we have that symptom, I'll call it a symptom, which is someone, one person, that acting out, this is a symptom of the organism. I would rather pay attention to why this has been seen as why this person is acting out so much. What we notice most of the time, the issue is not the person itself. The issue is actually even the fortune they had that one person was able to be in that position that looks weird or acting weird or having anger because the system is not balanced enough, because there's something has been missed either from unfairness, injustice. So I think organization should be happy when they see that something is going wrong. And even more, if that person in that position, we say, okay, it's because of that person, and we fire that person, and we bring someone else to that position, and that someone else, different personality, different background, still act the same way, this is a red flag. There is a problem in the organism, in the organization, that makes the people in that position react in that way.
I'll give an analogy. I'm going to talk about my friend. My friend, I love him. He, when we were in university, he started to have tremendous pain in his leg and like debilitating, like almost couldn't walk. And he went to the university hospital and they said, "Oh, you're having muscle tension. Here's some muscle relaxants." And so he kept taking these muscle relaxants, and the pain in his leg just kept getting worse, like numbness, sharp pain, couldn't move. And finally, he went to another doctor, and he had slipped two discs in his back. And so the muscle relaxants were making it worse because they were actually relaxing, everything in his body. And they said if you continued, it could have actually made the problem way worse. And so the symptom is in the leg. The leg is crying out and saying, I'm in pain. But the actual point of the injury was his lower back. And I think it's the same thing where we were recently brought in to work with, we were brought in by the board of directors, and they're saying the CEO is creating a lot of drama. They're a control freak. They're creating cliques. Like there was all this stuff that's about the CEO is failing, horrible. And then when we started to dive into it and look at the board was an absolute mess. So there was people who were coming and going. There's only a few that were actually dedicated, only a few that were there for the mission. A lot of them were there to get stuff on their resume about being a board member. They had no organization. They had set no vision or strategic priorities as a board. And so all of this stuff is happening at the board, and they're saying the CEO is the problem. And so the CEO might have stylistic issues and might also be contributing. It's a relationship field, so they might also have their stuff. But until we looked at the board, we could say it's just a bad CEO, fire them, hire a new person. But that CEO might end up acting in the exact same way because they're beholden to these forces that are operating around them. And so that's why we have to look more holistically at the system as a whole, and we have to look at roles.